Science and art students at the University of the Gambia kickstart a week-long science week. Tunisian nationals are lamenting over water scarcity in the country. And a Ukrainian family is settling down in South Africa amidst the war in their country. Well, these and more coming ahead on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching The World Today News Bulletin live from our studios in Banjul. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, the University of the Gambia School of Science and Arts have begun its annual week-long Science Week. The annual students' gathering brings together science students from the physics, chemistry, biology, and the maths areas to create innovation and showcase their talents through science and technology. Mariama Cham tells us more of that in this report.
And the moment he removes his hand, it will go off.
The 17th Executive Council of the Science Students Association of the University of the Gambia is currently observing its Science Week taking place at the theatre in Kanifing under the theme providing solutions to societal problems through the technological integration in physical and natural science. The Science Week enables science-related students to exhibit innovations through the use of science and technology. Usman A.N. Toure, president of the Science Students Association, said the team intends to solve societal problems through the sciences.
We science students deem it necessary to come up with this theme called providing solution to societal problem through the integration of physical and natural science. Fine. Now, this integration, we say we have in the natural sciences, you have the biology units, you have the physics unit, you have the chemistry unit now, and you have the mathematics unit. Now, we amalgamate this knowledge because the application of science breeds technology. Now, how do we employ this technology to be able to produce a very convincing and reasonable product? Is through the integration of these science courses, because we know that if you join the knowledge or combine the knowledge of biology and physics, you call it bioengineering. How do we solve the problem of some of the infection? For example, when you talk about viral infection, we use the idea of biology and physics. Now, when you join this knowledge, you call it bioengineering. Now, this bioengineering, we employ that knowledge to be able to solve some of the problem like viral infection.
Gracing students' activities for the first time since being Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia in January, Professor Edina Victor Mendes challenged science students to be more observant of their surroundings. Despite numerous challenges looming in the country's higher learning institution, Professor Mendes challenged students and lecturers to be innovative.
First is the learning experience of the students in the sciences. I am aware that there are challenges in our labs. Sometimes we have labs, the equipment and materials are not always there. But I want to challenge you, I want to challenge your lecturers. When we don't have materials, we don't have chemicals, I am constantly reminded that we should be innovative. Let us use what we have around us. So this is a challenge to your lecturers and to you as students. Let us be imaginative. Let us use what we have in our environment. The local materials, the local chemicals, the leaves that we have, our own environment.
Meanwhile, Zainab Bojang, a final year math student, laments the lack of support from people to fully implement the activities of the Students' Week.
There are lots of challenges that we face as students in the science area. When we say that science is the backbone of every nation, indeed it is, but it comes with different challenges and different difficulties that as a student you need to stand up to. Because let's take an example for the Science Week. It's a big event. It's not an event that a student can just jump out there and make it happen or make it possible. That is, we knock doors, and in knocking doors we struggle. In knocking doors, most doors are not open to us. We struggle with some sometimes we beg, we convince them. This has to come to a stop. That is, we have authorities, we have bodies out there that are there for tertiary education. We are the highest level of education in this country.
The first day of activities includes the biology, math, physics, and chemistry students demonstrating exhibitions being taught in their various fields. The week-long event will be observed through exhibition, drama, quiz competition, and sports day, among other activities. Students agreed that the Science Week is vital in their academic and practical aspects as science students of the country's highest learning institution.
So he just placed his hand on sensor 2. You will realize that the normal water will start pumping out. That's the normal water without anything like detergents and others.
Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
And from the report there by Yahya Jammeh, next to Uganda we go, because Ugandan authorities have expressed concern over the growing number of child labor in this African nation. Now, according to the United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, many Ugandan children did not return back to school when the government lifted the coronavirus-imposed regulations. This situation was largely due to the adverse impact of the COVID-19 global pandemic, which, of course, leaving several families struggling to meet up their needs. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Child workers are a common sight on Kampala's streets. Some hawk food to earn a living even during school hours. And it's now a concern to Ugandan authorities.
They need to find alternatives so that children who have been involved in work for pay, can return to school and learn. No child should stay at home, or no child should continue to be involved in running a business while others are at school.
The latest National Household Survey shows a 36% increase of children aged 5 to 17 years engaged in some form of labor, including household chores, compared to 21% before 2020. The UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, warns a number of children did not report back to school after the government eased COVID-19 restrictions and have likely been involved in some sort of work. The pandemic caused mass disruptions to employment across the globe. As many businesses and governments were forced to shut their doors, it left millions unemployed. In Uganda, many parents who couldn't afford to take their children to school were forced to send them to work to take care of their families. The government says it's working on skills development programs for children who cannot afford basic education. They can take up a trade instead of being exploited for child labor.
But I want to report that government already has put in centers all over the regions to try to rehabilitate and vocational training. We are starting with 100 young people in all of these centers so that they can get a skill and maybe later earn some living from that skill.
The government has also started wealth creation programs to increase household incomes and empower families so that child labor can stop. A $54,000 fund targeting local households has been rolled out. It will help people to access low interest rate loans. The government says it plans to increase the program in the next financial year.
And that report is coming from the Ugandan capital, Kampala. Now, to the northern part of the continent, Tunisia is facing a water crisis, leaving many residents in remote areas struggling to access potable drinking water. Now, the inadequate water supply in the North African country is disrupting the economic earnings of many people, including local farmers. Now, despite efforts by the government to remedy this long-standing problem, experts warn that the situation could further deteriorate in the coming years. Here's more details of that in this report.
In Tunisia's Manouba region, people are already feeling the pinch of the water scarcity problem. Fayrouz is one of them. The 50-year-old farmer does not have access to drinking water at home. She often feels exhausted from walking for miles every day to get water from a natural source. The villager says food security is at stake in this impoverished and disadvantaged area. The lack of water means the people here cannot grow crops to feed their children as they used to.
Instead of farming and securing food for my family, I spend my whole day looking for drinking water for my vegetable garden. The trees have not survived the drought and the water scarcity. I'm planning to abandon my farm and leave my village to a more hospitable area where water is available.
Livestock keepers in Manuba also say they desperately need clean water for their animals. Lack of water, they lament, has disrupted the whole economic and social cycle in their home area. They want to see more water supplied to their villages.
We can't earn a living without breeding and selling cattle. Water scarcity threatens livestock in many regions in Tunisia. Many farmers have sold their animals and left this region. They are now poorer and jobless.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Water Resources, the water crisis in Tunisia is caused by the imbalance between supply and demand. In the case of drinking water provided through the network of national water distribution utilities SONET, Tunisia has gone from producing 90 million cubic meters in 1968 to 760 million cubic meters in 2022. The state is developing new projects to improve potable water supply. According to a study on food security in Tunisia carried out by the Tunisian Institute of Strategic Studies in collaboration with the World Food Programme, the current water stress situation in Tunisia is likely to worsen by 2030. Despite living in regions where high rainfall is recorded, tens of thousands of people are suffering due to the shortage of water in parts of Tunisia. The government, this month, announced its project called Water 2050, which is a new strategy to ensure the sustainable management of water resources.
The news bulletin on Eyeafrica TV, and we are coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. And from that report there in Tunisia, we will now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back, and you're watching the World Today News Bulletin on Eyeafrica TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Now, the Kanifing Municipal Council Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda, on a visit to the Bakote dump site on Saturday, said he hopes to see a waste processing facility at the dump site in the coming months. Now, the mayor's visit to the dump site is conducted within the framework of the council's cleansing exercise. Moses Imendi has the details in this report.
Kanifing Municipal Council conducted the communal cleaning exercise in a show of its commitment to the environmental waste management agenda. The exercise featured cleaning activities in various wards within the municipality, namely Talinding, Abuko, Joshuang, Bakau, and Kololi wards. Community members, particularly the youth, turned out and contributed their quota in the cleansing exercise. Mayor Bensouda shoveling sand on the Talinding buffer zone road was the highlight of the cleaning exercise. He also went round the Bakote market to assess its situation and visited the Bakote dump site, where he expressed content about the development made and revealed improvement plans.
And you have seen the level of development in the Bakote dump site. $42 million with the BMZ and German government and the SOS, and also the $8 million fence to protect the community. Also, very soon, we will now have a weigh bridge in the Bakote dump site to actually give figures about how much waste is coming in to the dump site on a daily basis. We will also be building 10 transfer stations across the municipality. These are going to be warehouses where originally it was an illegal dump. Now we are going to build an organized place where people can take their waste. And there's many more to come. We are going to have 10,000 bins delivered to KM households in a very short while. And it will not stop. Every opportunity we get, we will keep advocating for better waste management. In the next few months, we are hoping to see a waste processing facility here in the Bakote dump site. As far as I'm mayor, I will always prioritize the health of the people of.
He said the health of the residents of the municipality is a priority of the council, and revealed that his office has been requesting for a land area from the government to serve as a new dump site. He called for more communal sensitization to tackle waste management problems in the city. Nene Freda Gomez of Citizens Alliance said she has bypassed partisan affiliation and joined the mayor on the exercise because it is about nation building.
This is not about politics, it's about nation building. It's about taking ownership of what you are a part of and protecting it and building it and growing it and nurturing it. We need to have political maturity, and when you say political maturity, it's not only speaking it in literal terms, but it's a matter of acting it. And I want to tell people this is what you call political maturity. This is about our municipality. I live in Serekunda West, which is the heart of Kanifing municipality. So who is a better person to partake in such an initiative than myself? And I am involved in politics. And what is politics? Politics is saying what is wrong and trying to make it right. Politics is about providing solutions. Politics is about being initiative. Politics is about being innovative, not only criticizing. I don't believe that is what is politics, and that's what I want.
She said she was glad to partake in the initiative and called on all the mayors and chairpersons of various local government areas to draw inspiration from Mayor Bensouda's achievement in terms of waste management and undertake the same initiative. MC Cham of the Gambia Democratic Congress, GDC, said he is a taxpayer who yearns for development, and that was why he partook in the exercise, saying it is a responsibility on him. He summoned the young people to turn out and support the mayor on the initiatives.
Every Gambian should, or particularly young people of this country, we should try and support the mayor of KMC. And he's the youngest mayor in the municipality. And I think it's important for the young people to support him. When he fails, we automatically, the entire young people of the Gambians, we can't even vie for any position in this country. Nobody will trust us as a Gambian to support young people. I think we should all support Talib Bensouda as a mayor, despite he's the mayor of KMC. And I also advise other political party supporters. Let us not see Mayor Bensouda as an UDP candidate, but let him see him as a Gambian, and he's a mayor of KMC for every political party. And that's why I'm here as MC Cham. I'm not here as MC Cham of GDC, but I'm here as MC Cham of people of KMC. I'm part of KMC, and my taxpayer I always pay in KMC. So it is about development, it's about killing our environment, and you cannot have any development without your environment not killing. So I think this is a very good move by the mayor and the KMC, and I think everybody should welcome this move.
Mr. Cham said the political season is over and people should now unite in efforts to develop the country. According to Mayor Bensouda, a European Union-funded waste project which will be implemented by the Mbolo Association is underway. Part of the project is the processing of organic waste into fertilizer, which will be given to women to apply on their gardens, considering the high cost of fertilizer in the country. Moses Mendy, Eyeafrica News.
And on to our final story next, because the Russian and, of course, Ukraine conflict has ruined the lives of thousands, if not millions, of Ukrainians. But a Ukrainian family is settling in South Africa to start a new life. The visiting family is in the Rainbow Nation for a holiday, but they couldn't return home due to the fighting in their country. Now, whilst they might hope to return to Europe when the war is over, South Africans are enjoying their business offers. Here's more details of that in this report.
Yana Inyatyuk used to be a confectioner in Lviv in the western part of Ukraine. When it wasn't safe to return, Yana decided to stay.
We came into South Africa for holidays in January for 5 weeks. And a few days before our flight back, the war started in Ukraine. So the flights were cancelled. First week we were crying like a depression. That's what's going on in Ukraine, and we didn't know what to do, what next. And then I remember myself that I'm a confectioner and I can make sweets here and begin to sell it. I'm so grateful that I have these skills.
Every weekend for the past 100 days, Yana and Misha have delighted locals at markets with delicious treats.
Wow, Yana, these look incredible. What are they? All people here enjoy this cake. This is coconut and poppy seeds and cream cheese and chocolate and baked nuts.
So interesting. This is a
pear. This is like a pear, yes. And people also enjoy, and every week I have different fruits.
The Russia-Ukraine conflict has changed the lives for millions of Ukrainians, and the story of Yana and Misha is no different. But they have made a life for themselves here in South Africa and have been welcomed by everyone.
I love that she's just coming here and disrupting kind of our idea of it and teaching us the Ukrainian way of baking and confectionery and how different and how intricate it is.
You would never be able to eat this dessert but in France. That's the only place where you can find this type of dessert. That's how high a skill is.
Yana for us is kind of like a bit of inspirational for us because they came out of nowhere. We just heard, we saw on Facebook that this lady from Ukraine, sort of show her cakes and things.
It looks original. It's worth tasting what she's doing. It's nice to support them at the market in Hermanus by buying what they are doing themselves.
But as Ukraine's future remains uncertain, it's Yana's and Misha's bravery that captivates people.
I decided to share with the people my knowledge. I will make a demonstration of cake, that my famous here cake that all people love. I decided as we are going from South Africa, so they must know how to do this, and I will give a recipe and they can always make it for their families.
Yana is very aware that the conflict is far from over, but they will soon return to Europe, leaving an empty space in locals' hearts.
Yes, we all hope and pray the conflict in Ukraine will end anytime soon, despite there are no signs for that though. But with that report from South Africa, we eventually bring this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and to have a pleasant evening. Bye.